All right, hey guys, this is lesson 119, and this is actually the last lesson that I'm going to teach you because for the very last lesson, I have a video for you guys to watch, so this is it. I mean, if you miss me, you can always come back to my YouTube channel and rewatch my videos, but I don't think any of you will really be doing that, and that's totally okay. But we're going to talk today about finding a whole when a percent is known. So in lesson 117, we talked about finding a whole when a fraction is known, and we used the little diagrams where we split it up, okay? This is going to be a little different. When we did our warm-up on Thursday, we actually reviewed the process for using that ratio box, okay? So everybody remembers that we set up a box. Sorry, y'all. I had my iPad set a little far back. All right, well, we're all awake now. So we set up our ratio box. And remember, we said we can always have percent and actual, okay? And then we always have part and whole. Now, this is one method that we talked about on Thursday. We'll always give you whatever piece you're looking for. If you're looking for the percent, you can set this up. If you're looking for the part, this will work. If you are looking for the whole, you can use this. So this is a method that would work if you were trying to find the whole when a percent is known, which is what we're going to talk about today. But what I'm going to give you is actually a different method because since you guys are almost in pre-algebra, this is literally your last lesson before you get into pre-algebra, we're going to be working with equations a lot more. Okay, so today we're going to look at how we can take a problem where we're trying to find a whole when a percent is known and turn it into an equation that we have to solve, okay? So just follow along with me and we're going to look at some keywords. Let's go ahead and open up the first one. I found a fun little picture to go with this one for you guys. 30% of the tribe were warriors. Interestingly enough, when you type warriors into Google, this is what you get. Golden State Warriors. So here we go. We're doing this problem with the Golden State Warriors. I don't know a single player on the Golden State Warriors, but maybe one of you guys does. There were 150 warriors in all. What was the population of the tribe? Somehow I don't think this problem is referring to Golden State Warriors, but we'll go with it. Okay, so if we are trying to solve this problem and find the population of the tribe, okay, so the total tribe, when we know that 150 were the warriors, okay, and that was the 30%. So the 30% or the part, 150, is just that. It's just the part, okay? But we are trying to find the total, all of them. So be careful with the word like an all right here, okay? But remember, that's still just talking about the warriors. And the warriors were still 30%, okay? So we are trying to find, if we kind of take this word problem and we boil it down into a concise phrase, we are trying to find 30% of what number, so some number that we don't know, 30% of what number is 150. Okay, so that would be how we could kind of boil this down. Now, using that phrase, we can turn it into an equation. So we know that when we want to turn it into an equation, 30%, the percent always turns into a decimal. So remember to do that. You just take the decimal where it is, bump, 2 spaces to the left. So it'd be 0.30 or 0.3 of, remember, always tells us to multiply. And then what number, that's what we're looking for. We still don't know. So we'll just keep that as what number, I don't know, is tells us equal to. Okay, so this is one we haven't looked at a whole lot yet. So kind of stick that one up there, okay? Hang on to it for me for a little while. 150, that obviously stays the same. So now we're just solving this equation. We're solving when we see multiplication happening and we're trying to figure out what number is. So we have to undo that. We have to undo that multiplication. So we're going to divide by that 0.3, divide by the 0.3. So that would cancel, meaning we still need to do 150 divided by 0.3, which we could write that over here if we just wanted to work it out. Remember, you can't divide by a decimal, so you have to bump that decimal in both places, outside and inside. So now 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Subtract and you get 0. Then it's just going to keep giving us zeros there. So we're going to end up with what number? Equaling 500 tribe members in all. Okay? So just to recap, you phrase it, translate your phrase into an equation. Then you're just solving your equation. Okay? So let's try that process again. This time, let's see how to find if 30% of what number is 120. So this one is phrased kind of like what we want it to look like. So 30% of what number, we don't know yet, is, remember, let me write the word first, is 120. So now let's translate. 30%, gonna turn into a decimal, 0.30 or 0.3, of, gonna turn into multiplication. What number, we're still looking for that, don't know yet, is, turns into equals, don't forget that, and then 120 just comes straight down. So this time, same thing. Trying to find the what number. It's being multiplied, so we need to undo that by dividing by 0.3. That's going to cancel. Okay, so I'm just dividing 120 by 0.3, which means I got to bump that decimal. Okay, and this is going to end up giving me 400. So that would be our whole that we're trying to find. Okay, I think I've got one more on here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yes, last one. Okay, so 16 is 25% of what number? Okay, so this one sounds like it's phrased a little differently, but let's keep in mind what we've been doing with translating our phrases, okay? So 16, So it's easier for me if I flatten this out to write on it. So 16 is 25% of what number? Okay, so let's translate. 16 is, remember that's equals 25%. Percent always is going to turn into a decimal. And then of turns into multiplication. What number? We don't know. Okay? So now we're just solving for what number again. The only difference is now it's like flip-flopped, okay? But you're still just solving for what number. So what number is being multiplied by 0.25? So we're going to divide by that on both sides, okay? So that's going to cancel. So then over here, I'm going to go over here and say 16 divided by 0.25. Can't divide by a decimal, so I got to bump that 2 spaces. So 25 is going to go into 160. That'll be about 6 times, should be, because that'll be 150. So that'll leave us with 10, though. And so we'll bring that down. 25 goes into 100 4 times. So this is going to end up telling us that our whole that we were looking for is 64. Okay? So again, I showed you guys a few times, but just set out your phrase, then translate all of your terms and values into an equation format and just solve your equation. Okay? You guys got it. Happy homework, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye, guys.